3, 2. Okay, I guess that's it. All right.
That's it.
And I'm tweeting it. Cool.
Do 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 do.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Whoever's
Hello.
on. Yeah, we're back. We're so back.
We are so back. I love that meme, but like I never know if people know that I'm reading it. Like when I say like we will be there, it's not just like we will be there. It's like we will be there. Like that soccer clip. You know that one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I've seen that. I'm like, I don't always catch on to the memes, so
Yeah, you just kind of have to.
I have to like assume it's a meme, like just
Yeah, if it doesn't make sense, assume it's a meme.
Assume first meme. Assume it's a meme
Yeah.
first. They said Tom says he cannot hear you.
No, that's
I don't know if that's a meme. I'm gonna assume that's a meme.
that's
I can
yeah.
hear
I think
you.
that's
Maybe. Let me check my settings. Could be me. Let's see.
I will not be silenced. Oh, okay. I said we will not be silenced, and then Tom said they can hear me.
Oh,
so.
okay. All right. We can. We're good.
Can they not see us though? Because it still doesn't have our visuals. I think.
We're on.
Or no, that's us.
We're on the stream.
That's us.
That's
that's us.
guys, let us know like before we start. We haven't done this in a while. Like we're super rusty. So.
Also, we got rid of Streamlabs, so we're
we
we're
got
OBSing.
rid of StreamYard and
StreamYard, yeah.
And we're OBSing it. Yeah, we're Streamlabbing it. I keep actually doing that issue. I'm like having that issue. I keep Googling like something for Streamlabs and I type in StreamYard. And I'm like, wait, this isn't what I want.
Oh. Musk, I love you. Who's watching this with my family? The whole family is watching.
Awesome.
I can't. Maz is saying turn me up anyway. I can't tell if that means I'm quiet or if it's just like a nice like enthusiastic way of.
I think you're at max. Like, do we sound uneven? I'm trying not to do the thing where I listen to the audio of the stream because then like it's weird feedback.
I mean, you sound good to me, but.
Also, while we're talking, how's everybody doing? How's that goes out to the chat. Okay, apparently I do sound quiet. Okay, if I get closer to the mic, if I get this closer,
you sound good.
Do I feel closer? Do I sound closer, even though you can't see me on camera?
I think you feel and sound closer.
Let me know what's better, because maybe I have to like face the mic. Okay. Musk says it sounds fine to him. Muska.
Cool.
Not Musk.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Negative association.
We are so back.
Okay. Cool. All right. People say we sound good. All right. Okay. Angel Stranger says I sound better closer to the mic. God damn it. Okay, hold on. Let me bring this closer. All right.
That does sound better.
All right, I'm closer. It's slightly in frame, but it's closer. But now I can't get to my mouse. Okay, hold on. There we go. All right, cool. All right, guys. I hope that's it for technical difficulties. Is everybody ready to start?
Yes. I don't think I'm allowed to respond.
You can respond. Like you're actually the only person capable of responding with voice.
That's true.
And also, you don't have a delay.
That's cool. That's cool to hear.
Okay, we're getting welcome. That's great. I'm so excited to be welcomed back. I kind of missed this.
Me too.
Did you miss it?
I did. I feel like this was it's a good. We had such a long break that it got past any point of potential. What's the word I'm thinking of? Burnout. And now it's just like, no, I want to come back.
Yeah. It's weird because, well, I'll get into it in a second. So let's just start and then I'll get into what I was going to say. So, all right, let's do this. Welcome to the Just Weebs podcast. We are officially back after a long hiatus. Would you consider that a hiatus? I think that's a hiatus.
That was a Togashi hiatus.
Yeah, it was pretty long. I'm Onimaru, and I'm joined by...
Shocking. Hi.
Shocking. And we're glad to be back. We're actually, really excited to be back. So what I was going to say is that it's actually really innocent, the reason why we haven't been on. At least I think it's innocent. It's just it wasn't intentional. It was sort of just, stuff just kept happening and time just flew. I was looking back to see what was the last thing we were actually planning to do and what was going to happen and then kind of what happened along the way. So our last pod came out, in December?
I had to go double check. I think it was December.
It was December. That was already that's 7 months ago. 8 months ago. Damn.
Yes. Wow. And, Chainsaw Man pacing.
And actually, speaking of Chainsaw Man, so our next episode was going to be in December, and it was going to be a Fujimoto pod. It was going to be and I had to convince Shaw to read Fire Punch. So we were going to do Fire Punch, Chainsaw Man, and I think Shaw said to do the one shot as well. Okay. And I read Fire Punch. But Shaw did not, because I think you got sick, right? Is that what happened?
Yeah, we were gonna do that. I think it was Christmas time, and then, so I went to New York the day after Christmas to see the Nutcracker, and I think I got RSV, and it was definitely not COVID, but it was a long virus, so that was pretty much all of January. Then it was kind of beginning of February time, and then I got COVID. So
yeah, you were having sick. A really bad 2 months. Right?
Yeah, I just kept getting sick, and that's when I played Elden Ring nonstop because I could not really process any new information. I couldn't watch anything. I couldn't really do anything. But at that point, I had just been playing Elden Ring so much. I'm I can pretty mindlessly just keep playing this. So I just played Elden Ring for 2 months straight and was sick for 2 months straight. But...
yeah, and me and Shaw would keep checking in with each other and be next week or 2 weeks from now. We kept pushing the date. But then we were also pretty chill with it because we were oh, you're playing Elden Ring? I'm playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, so we're good. So I'm just I was just totally absorbed by the game and she was absorbed by Elden Ring. So we're all right, we're fine. We'll get back, February. Yeah. And then February happened and then it didn't happen. And then March was okay, we should try to do something. And then I went to Japan. So it was all right, let's do everything after Japan.
Because you had a lot of Japan planning. Because you went for 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, the Japan planning started, it was an impromptu, decided at the end of January, all right, let's go to Japan. But it was so close because it was going to be Golden Week. So, the planning essentially sort of started in February. And then, sort of started. It was mostly procrastinating. And then March was, really, okay, really need to start reserving stuff. And then April. And then it just all came, went really quick. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's, and then I got back. And then I think you had a packed May.
Everyone in my family is somehow born in May, so it's kind of the worst. It's I have 5 birthdays in May. It's just
yeah,
cannot deal with that.
So we were okay, June.
Yeah, so then by then it's June.
Yeah, and so time flew, and now we're back. We're excited to be back. But one of the things I was thinking about, because we had already while not being able to do anything, we were trying to plan stuff we want to do that we're excited to do when we get back. And then I just kind of realized I was telling Shaw, I'm we never technically finished season 2.
Season 2 of the podcast.
Yeah, I'm we were having all these nice season 2 episodes and it kind of just ended. So we were we should come back and at least officially wrap up season 2. So that's a long intro to say that if you didn't know it already, this is the season 2 finale. We're officially wrapping up season 2 today. Yeah.
And we can say, I think everyone will also see kind of soon why we're going to split up season 2 of the podcast and season 3 of the podcast, and why it makes more sense that we kind of waited a bit until we were both kind of consistently back to come back. But that's all I'm going to say on that. But we do have some things cooking. That's what I'll say.
Yes, and also to add to that, we what I was gonna say, so one thing we wanted to do with this podcast too, like besides catching up, chilling with you guys, and just sort of just talking, it's like a laid back pod. We wanted to take a step back and like kind of reflect on like what we've done so far and kind of what we've liked, what we want to do next, sort of stuff like that. What we can do differently, what you guys thought. That's really important to us. But one of the things I want to bring up then, in regards to, I always blank out. That's one thing we want to fix for the future. Me blanking out less. One of the things was, what was the last thing you said, Shaw?
That we're cooking?
No,
we
before
are
the
cooking. No, we have future plans.
No, before that. Roll it back.
Why we separated season 2
yes,
and season 3.
So that's one thing that's one thing I got to remedy. So I was reflecting and I'm like, you know what? I probably should have been more straightforward with the episode numbers, because what I did was, what I pushed for was actually very confusing to go, all right, this is season 2, but we're restarting the number count at like episode 1 and then sort of disregarding what came before. We weren't really disregarding it. It was still there. But now like that we're ending season 2, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go back and just make season 1, label it season 1, season 2, maybe make playlists, and then season 3 will be season 3 and just have the numbers. It's like a very minor thing. It's like not a huge deal, but I'm like, it was kind of confusing. So let's just make it straightforward. So that's one thing I'll be doing post season 2 finale.
We'll have season 1 and season 2.
Yeah, that you can actually like go to the episodes. So that's the first thing. And then also, what was the next thing? Did we?
I don't know. That's as far back as I could have gone.
Well, that's like
once I say something, I completely forget what I've said.
Well, you're doing better than me. Also, chat said that going back to Elden Ring, that was a good excuse. So
thank you.
You have been validated.
Thank you, Chad. Yeah. Thank you, Sai.
So before we get into, so that's kind of like what we've been up to. Just a mix of me going to Japan, Shaw and birthdays, and trying to get back on. Did we want to get into the podcast stuff first, or do you want to talk a little bit about Japan?
Which do you prefer? Because you're going to have to do all of the talking for Japan. Because it's like, out of the 2 reasons we've been on hiatus, yours is definitely the more interesting one, aka like going on a fun trip.
It was fun.
Versus me dying. So it's like,
I mean, to be fair, you were dying earlier in the year. Thank God you weren't dying like
it was
4 months
foreshadowed.
straight.
Yeah.
Chat can let us know. Chat can chime in. Yeah. Do you want to hear me go at length talking about Japan, or do you want us to just get straight into the
pod reflections?
The pod reflections. The pod confessionals.
I think I will say before anyone chooses that you did just put out a video that I did watch on yourself buying $1,000 worth of Evangelion merch, which I just saw because I have the notifications on. And that was pretty cool. You are so wrong for getting the shirt with the, the smile.
Yes!
It's like you're just like rolled up with this shirt. Like, you guys will see if the video, because it's actually like cool merch to see. I'm not just going like hardcore plugging, but I did watch the video, so I have to reference it. I'm not even gonna say, you'll see with the shirt, but you were so wrong for that shirt, and you knew it too. You're just like, I had to do it, but like, did you? Did you though?
Yes.
Like, I don't think you had to.
I gave my reasons. Those are my reasons. They're valid. Oh my god. I mean, I kind of like, I cut out one part, because I was like ad-libbing, and there was one part where I said like, because the end of Evangelion is just, it's an awful time, and it just reminds you of it.
Like, I can't. It's like, maybe it's not that bad, I won't say that, but that's just like, so like, if you know, and you're like, why would you choose that one? Like, absolute horror.
It just felt so perfect. I'm like, and it was definitely a moment of like, should I? Do you really want to? Like, yes. Also, this is the remember in the video I mentioned a Suzume shirt? This is it.
Like Suzume.
What was that?
It does look like Suzume from
It is Suzume.
the corner you can see.
Did you watch Suzume, by the way?
I've not, because I think it's only in theaters, and I don't care that much.
Gotcha. Don't worry.
I gotta see. I will gotta see it, but it's like I've only just gone back to theaters to see Across the Spider-Verse. But Suzume is not enough for me to go.
I mean, if you don't like your name that much, and I have Suzume under your name, I'm like, that's not.
But you like your name a lot, so I might like Suzume more.
Oh. Nah, I don't know.
We'll see.
Didn't you like Weathering with You better than your name?
Yeah, but I don't know how I would feel on like rewatch.
All right.
I don't know. We'll have to see. Tom said it was great that Onimaru single-handedly funded Kahara's next project, and I agree.
On some level, I still feel like I disappointed Ano. I'm funding
Why?
him, I'm helping him, but I also feel like, damn, I'm like an Evangelion fan that missed the point of Evangelion.
By buying his merch.
Yeah. He's like, go outside. Don't be obsessed with this
went
fandom.
outside to buy the merch.
True. But then I'm like,
I don't think he's hating on the money that much.
He's just like counting the bills, like, yes.
Go outside, make it rain. Go outside.
It was so great because I have a picture of this in the same mall that I went to, like the last Ava store at the top, like in the grass area. There's a sign that said "Keep off the grass," and I was like, "Shit."
Do you have a picture of that? You took a picture of that, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think Chad has agreed, and we have unofficially agreed. I found this clip of us. No, don't add me. I had the perfect soundbite on my phone. I fucking hate YouTube. Fuck this website.
Oh my god.
So that's our next subject.
The Rem figure army back there.
What is that? I can't even see that.
Oh, they said the Rem figure army now has Ava merch for Rivalry.
That's true. Wait, I'm okay. Thank you. Thank you to my phone. I love that you have unofficially but officially proven my Rem figure conspiracy theory, and like you have the exact number too. And I feel so validated, so honored and blessed.
Shaw, I did it for you.
Thank you. I know you didn't get the Rem figures, but I know everyone else did, and I appreciate that.
Let me see.
It's like literally 6.
Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, you have 7. Okay.
Well, there's 2.
7 deadly sins.
There's actually 2 more that aren't on here. So.
Get the 9. I don't even know what. So
I think
okay,
that's 9. But I can tell you right now, I am not responsible for purchasing any of them.
Okay. I have to tell. I don't know if everyone's up to date on the lore of my Rem conspiracy theory. It's not like a conspiracy theory. It's just a snarky conspiracy theory that like Rem was designed in like an otaku like an otaku lab, and she's like a test tube waifu made to sell the most amount of figures. That's like my snarky way of looking at it, and I was like mostly joking. But then, I think how many years has it been since it's been 7 years since the first season of ReZero has come out. I swear every weeb who has at least one piece of merch will have something Rem related. And then I brought this up to Onimaru in one of our earlier podcasts about the like Rem, the Rem congregation. And then he's like, I have like 6 Rem figures. And like,
that's why I had to.
I'm just saying.
That's why I had
I'm
to
just
do
simply
it.
saying. But that was also funny in the video.
But by the way, since you're such a Rem hater, I honestly think ReZero Season 2 is Shaw redeemed. I think that's
Shaw core.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's like they heard you and they were like, you know what?
Well,
you're right.
It does have an Umineko reference, so.
There you go.
I already know it. It's Echidna is kind of an Umineko reference.
Yeah, I had to like yell at my friend to just be like, "Hey, can you stop getting me Rems?" So,
who is? And then he responded, "Who is Rem?" And then bought you 10 more. Like,
no, they got me a Ram.
Oh,
the next
that's
one.
good.
So I was like,
so sweet.
I have 1 Ram, so that's great. All right, so
even Maz has something Rem related. Maz has never liked Rem, as far as I've known him.
I think
and
we
he
can't
has
escape.
a Rem shirt.
I think we can't.
It's a curse.
Guys, let's do this, okay? If we all chip in, right? We're gonna get Shaw some Rem merch and send it to her, and she has to accept it. Then you will, and then you have to have it on stream when you go on.
I would love to.
You're just like, no issues here.
I'll wear a Rem shirt. My hating days are. I will be reformed. There's like worse anime character shirts I could have.
Okay. All
And I'm
right.
gonna join the Rem army.
We're getting you a Rem body pillow.
I don't know if I have room for that. That's we could go with that. I still have technically. I shouldn't say this, but whatever. So I was doing like a giveaway for our anime, and I have still leftover merch that Crunchyroll has sent me, and I have like a ReZero wall scroll. So we could do a giveaway. We could do maybe we'll do a ReZero podcast series if people are interested in that.
Didn't we like say like let's not do that because of the amount of hate you'll get?
No, no ReZero fans. I have confirmed are chiller than Mushoku Tensei fans. And no one's really been mean. They're just like they're not mad. They're just disappointed. They're like I'm just so sad. And I'm like I'm sorry.
Shaw, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Whereas Mushoku Tensei fans are mad.
Ultimate Gax asks you in the chat, does Kana from Oshinoko have the same Rem aspect, Shaw? And I will add to that, even if she doesn't now, do you think she has potential to?
I don't think she does because I think Rem was such a like flash in the pan with the like confession scene, and I don't think that Kana really has that because the waifu wars have been too intense early on. Like sometimes you gotta let it breathe a bit, and you already have too many Oshinoko factions that are like at war and going hard. So I don't think Kana fans will really get the like chance to get to that level.
Yeah, and I also think like Kana has like her own like strongly developed personality in her own right, where Rem kind of doesn't. So
you don't have to slander Rem just because I'm here. You don't have to do that on my.
I'm trying to be objective.
No, because I feel bad.
I think it's more of like I don't think when you look at it, I don't know if Rem can stand on her own outside of Subaru because everything's like in relation to Subaru.
That's true.
That's really all I mean. It's not like Rem is completely devoid of personality, but you know.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like I say, yeah, I get it. But so that's kind of a good transition into we're talking about Oshinoko, modern anime. You've just gone to Japan.
There was so much Oshinoko stuff.
So I saw something the other day of they were playing like a clip of from or one of the big performance that came in episode 11. How much I saw that on like billboards in Shibuya that people have posted. How much Oshinoko stuff was there, and then what other series were like very prominently featured in Japan?
There was a lot of there was like an Oshinoko billboard. Like in Shibuya, which huge tourist area. You're just walking on Shibuya Scramble. Right there, Oshinoko. And there was like some TikToks with it too. So I think people saw it online. Definitely like Oshinoko and a lot of bookstores being promoted. Like the books, like cutouts, like just a whole section. And a lot of Blue Lock. A lot of Blue Lock stands. Billboards in the subway station. It's because they were also having like a Blue Lock, like a cafe or exhibition thing. So they were promoting that too. So that was all over the place. Like a lot.
Did you go to the cafe?
No, I didn't. But I think my friend ended up going. I was gonna go, but I forgot. I was like wiped.
What did they say about it?
I don't remember. I think it's the typical like cafe stuff. I was like, another story is I was just burned out from like I went to like a total of 2 cafes, and I was done.
Okay.
I was done. I was like, I'm good. I don't need to go
Which
back.
cafes?
I went to like these. So there are these in Japan. There's like these for people that don't know. If you do, you know what I'm talking about. There's these like special like event collaboration cafes for like animes that are like these like sort of like a pop-up shop but like a cafe for a limited time. And I went to the Pokemon one, which that one's not as like temporary. That's always like there. That's at the Pokemon Center in Nihonbashi. I went to that, and that you have to reserve in advance. And then I went to the Hisoka one. So there was this mysterious Hunter Hisoka one, and we were like, what the fuck is this? We have to know. It's a Hisoka cafe. What would that even be? Would like the desserts be gone in Killua? Like,
just jail.
Like it would just be weird.
You get promptly arrested afterwards.
And then we were gonna go also to a Cardcaptor Sakura cafe too.
Oh, that would be cute.
So that's what we like, and we got the reservation to it. And also, these cafes are like serious business to get like a reservation. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, they're high in demand, I think.
here it was like 5 a.m. You had to be up to get a chance to enter the lottery for it, and then you get the lottery, and then you have to, if you wake up that early, to then be able to get in, and then they announce it like
Wow.
a month later. So there was, if you wanted more chances, you'd have to do like multiple days of like waking up at 5 a.m. to try to get into the queue if you got in, and then to get lottery.
It's like Taylor Swift of cafes.
Yeah, like for the Hisoka one, I think I reserved like 4 days, so I had like 4 chances.
Okay.
And I got like the very first day.
Good.
And we got into the Cardcaptor Sakura one, and the Pokemon one. It was we got into that one too. And we had like done like 3 different days for that one, and we got like one of the days that we wanted. Because it was actually much harder getting it during Golden Week, so we did it like the week before. But anyways, long story short, Pokemon was legit. It was pretty good. They had like good food and kind of like a Pikachu like entertainment show, or like a Pikachu and a mascot does this dance, and like it's kind of cute. And then they had cool like souvenirs and like merch to buy, and that was kind of it. And the food was like pretty decent. The Hisoka Cafe was the most bare bones thing. I don't know. Like, I went with a friend, and he pretty much described it as like, this is kind of like one of those makeshift panels at a con that you see at a con in the States, like where they just have like, you know, a few like cute things, and that's kind of it. And you just sit there, and the food is kind of like not really good at all. So it was just like, oh, okay.
Okay, that's sad.
So after that, and then I told a friend who like actually goes to a lot of these things, a lot of these cafes, like they love it. Like their whole week was booked with cafes, and they were like, yeah, that's what cafes are like. What did you expect? And I'm like, oh, okay.
Be legit.
All food sucks at cafes. I'm like, all right.
Do they have like cool drinks or something? Because I would imagine them to have like a cool like pink drink or something.
They had like a bungee gum like drink or something. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Pink drink, but it's spongy gum.
Yeah. And then like the Pokemon stuff, like their stuff was like cooler because they had like a Gengar drink. And
that's cool.
And then you bought it, and then you could take the Gengar glass home. You keep it.
That's cool.
And then it just has like Gengar on the glass, so I took that. And it had like a cool like flash, like red flashlight in the drink, so it like lights up like Gengar's mouth as you're drinking it. So that was
that's
cool.
So cool. That's awesome.
And then after that, so I had talked about it with my wife, and we were just like, she was the one that really wanted to go to the Cardcaptor Sakura Cafe, and then she was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to go.
Probably got burnt out.
Yeah, no, like after we experienced cafes, we're just like, yeah, we're good. Like we don't have to go to the one on you know, it was the following week, so that was it. I only did those 2, and I was like, I'm very underwhelmed, but
very well underwhelmed.
Underwhelmed.
Very whelmed. That's disappointing. But.
Yeah, it was okay. Like I wasn't expecting a lot. It was just like a little bit, you know.
Well, especially because you had to get up at like 5 a.m. to like book it and stuff.
Yeah. Like that was. I mean, I didn't think about it too much at the time. At least I got to go. It was like it was part of the experience. But originally, though, when we were lining up for it, we were actually in the wrong line, and we just see all like these high school girls like lined up for this like cafe, and I'm like thinking it's the Hisoka Cafe, and I'm trying to like ask one of the guys, I don't know if it was like a janitor or something, like in Japanese, like, oh, is this a Hisoka Cafe? And then they were like, yeah. And then I'm like online waiting here, and I'm like, I feel like very out of place. And I'm like, I don't think this is a Hisoka Cafe. And it turns out it wasn't. It was like some idol show.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And then I like immediately bounced. And I'm like, okay, where the fuck is this Hisoka Cafe?
You see too many like, you know, teeny boppers, and you're like, no, this cannot be Hisoka's demographic. Yeah,
it was actually like in then like the next building over. So
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So so for your trip, like where did you spend like the most amount of time? Like Tokyo, where else did you go?
So basically, like I had been to Japan before, like several years ago, and I had only been in like I got to see like a little bit of everything, but I never got to like really stay in one place for too long. So like I barely got to see Tokyo when I went. I was only there for like a day. Like that was kind of it. So this time I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna get to know Tokyo, and I'm just gonna stay like the whole 2 weeks in Tokyo. So while I was there, I kind of wanted to get to know as much of Tokyo as I could. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to see as many of the wards / districts that there are, because I always hear about them in anime, but I'm like, I never really like, I hear the names, but I can't really associate them with anything because I'm just like, I haven't been there. I don't really know much about it. And like, yeah, you could look it up online, but it's different from like being there and like actually experiencing the vibe of what it's known for. So that was like what I was trying to do. So I was like trying to at least hit up like a different spot like every day.
So which was your favorite like district?
So I actually we stayed in Shinjuku. And Shinjuku is actually my favorite. So that's
cool. And that's the one that's like, I always think of it as just like, the Persona 5 area.
Yeah.
That's like the red light. Is that the red light district in Persona 5?
Yeah,
or that's what they call it.
Yeah, like Shinjuku is like essentially considered. It's almost like it's like the downtown of Tokyo.
Okay, it's like the nightlife spot.
Yeah. Even though like Shibuya also has a nightlife, but like Shinjuku's like really the nightlife spot, especially for drinking and izakayas and all that stuff. Like people are up. But like in Shinjuku, there is the red light district, which is Kabukicho, and we stayed in Kabukicho. Yeah. So
when they say like red light district, I don't think like. So is it just like strip clubs are everywhere? Like what else? What is there that makes it like different from the rest of it?
Like there's the bars. I don't know. I don't know. I guess there's strip clubs. I didn't really see them, but like there's the like it has like a little bit more of like a sort of like a CD vibe.
Okay.
And so like there's like all the bars are there, like people up like late, like partying, but then also there is like people like soliciting like for you to like kind of get a special service like out on the street. So like if you were like it's usually only like at night, but if you're like if I was like walking with my wife or whatever, like no one bothered us, whatever, and like we just kind of like walked and it was all good. But then if you're a guy and you're walking by yourself, they'll come and ask you and be like, hey, you want to go somewhere special? And then you immediately are just supposed to keep walking. Because apparently, like, it that's how they get you, and then like it gets really shady after that.
Yeah, that's wild.
So if you don't mess with that side of like things, like, and don't let them take you anywhere, you're good.
Everyone's taking notes on like, okay, what to do in Japan. Like,
yeah. Like that's the only like I think part of I mean, I think there's another part, but that's like really the part of Tokyo everyone's like, oh, be careful there. It's like kind of seedy, but like really, if you don't like interact with them and kind of do your own thing, you're good. Like it's fine. Like I was up like pretty much late one night. Like one time we were like hungry at like 2 a.m. and we went to go get yakitori like across from the hotel, and it was pretty great. We just like walked over.
And you told me about the hotel you stayed at. I feel like you have to describe it. It's
okay. I definitely, if you've seen pictures of Tokyo or Japan, you've definitely seen the hotel because it's pretty iconic. Because they even tell you like when you go to Tokyo to visit like the big like Godzilla like statue like in this part of Tokyo, like in Shinjuku, that's like on top of a building. But that building is also a hotel, so we stayed at the Godzilla hotel.
And did it live up to being iconic? Was it a cool hotel?
It was pretty cool because you can actually like, I mean, you can like see the Godzilla even without being at the hotel, but because you're staying at it, it's also Godzilla themed. So like there's there's a Godzilla room, there's Godzilla paraphernalia, like merch, like stuff down there. There's like a whole like hallway with like all the Godzilla movies, including like the Anno one and the anime like series, like a whole Godzilla display. There's like a terrace where you can like stand next to Godzilla, like right there, and then like every hour or so, like he roars. So like you see him like light up, or you're just in your room like in the middle of the night. I was like, oh, Godzilla's roaring again.
Could you hear it like for your room? Like would it keep you up?
It doesn't keep you up, but it does. You do hear it from your room. Like you get like from our room, from the window, you just peek down and you just see Godzilla lighting up and going on. So, but you could get a room, which we didn't get, unfortunately. I was like tempted to. You just have to pay more. Where like you literally open your window and you're in front of Godzilla's eye. Like you're literally like right across from Godzilla.
Would be sick. That would be really
And
cool.
I was just like, the child in me was like, I was like a Godzilla fan when I was a kid. This is kind of like pretty dope.
That sounds awesome.
I kind of want to be across from his eye.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So that was kind of like Shinjuku was pretty cool. The Godzilla, kind of like all the izakaya stuff. The bars, kind of like going around. And also, before we, I guess, get to other places in Tokyo, Shinjuku has the craziest train station in the world. Like, it's like, I had heard that, I think, in passing before, but like experiencing it, it's literally like one of the busiest stations ever.
Wow, I could see that.
Like, just, it's like you're like crossing the streets of the station. It's just like a horde of people coming at you.
Yeah.
And it's not like in New York where like you just see like, you know, a lot of people. Like, everybody's going in different directions, and it's just hard to avoid. And like, no one's hitting each other, but it's just like
very controlled
all these people.
chaos.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's like overwhelming. And that's like outside of the station. When you get into the station, it's even worse because it's all these people coming up, all these people going down, all these people going this way, that way. The station itself is huge, so you're trying to navigate to where you're trying to go. It's kind of like a labyrinth, and you're like dodging people left and right who are in a rush. So it's like it's chaos. It's like madness.
Were you able to like find stuff like once you figured it out, or is it still just like super claustrophobic and like?
It's like really hard in the beginning. It's like a learning curve. But after like going like to the station like almost every day, because like our itinerary was packed, we were doing something every day. So and also because we didn't like do a tour. So that's the other thing with like if you go to Japan and you're like doing your own itinerary, you really have to like plan things out and like look at your, like train routes and like where you have to connect and what you have to do. So that was like in itself its own experience, like learning like how to like be in Japan is like a big part of that is the public transportation, especially in Tokyo. So kind of like having to be in that mindset and then kind of doing it every day. After a while, it was like sort of like, okay, I kind of know where to go, at least for like, there was like this one line that we took all the time. So I kind of always more or less knew where that was. It was the JR line. And that kind of like is like this circular line that kind of goes through all of the main wards. And it's all like, you know, you just kind of go on it and it just goes in a circle. So that one's pretty easy. But when you go somewhere further where you have to connect, that's where it gets a little tricky.
Yeah, that sounds really tricky.
Like, there was one time where we thought, like, okay, we know the station, we're good. And we were meeting up with friends, and we told them to meet us at the station. And they hadn't been to the station before. And so it was a good half hour of, like, yeah, we're here. Where? We're here. Where's that? And we, like, went all over, could not find them. And then they still couldn't find us. And then we were told them, okay, we're giving up. Just, like, I guess walk to here, and then we'll meet you there. And then it turns out there was just a whole other side of the station that we didn't even know about.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was just like a whole other entrance. Like, oh, okay, we were never going to find them.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. It was a really cool experience. Like, the train system is, like, really cool. Like, I've never been a train fan, and after going to Japan, I kind of get it now.
Do you think we should get one? Get our own huge supersonic train kind of thing?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's awesome. And those aren't even like the bullet trains. Those are just the regular train systems. Like, I really was tempted to board a bullet train while I was over there, but because I was mostly staying in Tokyo, like, there was kind of no point. Like, it was just like, I'm not going outside of Tokyo. It's only worth it if you're doing a long trip. Like, I was actually driving myself crazy beforehand while I was planning to just be like, okay, what if I do a day trip that's only like an hour to just ride the bullet train and get to somewhere I want to go, and then it's like two birds with one stone, and then I get to do it. But like the planning of it was like driving me crazy because it was also just a day trip, so you'd have to be back like that night. And the bullet train itself is like very expensive.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Like, I was trying to go to Hakone, which is where, and like I learned a lot about this stuff like planning this trip. I like didn't know all this stuff beforehand, so I found out, like, I knew that Hakone is, like, mostly where, like, people go for, like, the hot springs. Like, if you want to go, like, and have an onsen, like, an authentic onsen experience, like, with the actual, like, hot spring, one of the top places you go to is Hakone. And, like, that's where you go. And that's what it's mainly known for. They have all these bathhouses. There's a lot of them that are ryokans, that are inns that you stay at. But there's also, like, day onsen. So I was trying to look into getting one of those. But then I also found out, and I felt, like, so ashamed not knowing this, that Tokyo 3 from Evangelion is based on Hakone. And I'm like, oh my god, Pen. Oh my god, it makes so much sense. How did I not know this? And it was like, I have to go now.
And did you go?
No, I didn't.
Oh, so next time.
I was like, I really, really was trying to make myself go, but it was just like, it just wasn't working out. And I was like, you know what? There'll be a next time. Because it didn't make sense. Like, only made more sense if I was, like leaving Tokyo more often. Because if you leave Tokyo more often, or I'm sorry, if you're like going to multiple places in Japan, what you get is this thing called the JR Pass. And that is like you pay like this big lump sum for the pass, but then you can kind of ride pretty much anything multiple times, like as much as you want, like the bullet train, whatever. And that's worth it if you're going to like Kyoto, Nara, all these other places like kind of far away. So
Cool.
Yeah.
So back in like Tokyo when you were like kind of walking around, kind of shifting lines of of the train. When you're walking around, you said that you saw like Oshinoko, you saw Blue Lock a lot. Did you see any like older anime that you were surprised were as popular, like anime or manga?
I'm trying to think, like just like advertised.
Yeah, because like I hear, like, did you see a lot of Evangelion stuff? Like I hear that stuff is always.
I definitely saw
really
Evangelion everywhere. Like
so Evangelion everywhere.
Like I was like passing like I think it was a pachinko parlor, and I think I had it in my video. It was like this. They had an Evangelion machine.
Okay, that's cool.
And actually, for some weird reason, I mean, I don't know, but like, Railgun was always used to advertise pachinko parlors. So whenever
I could see that.
pachinko parlors, you just see like, what's her face?
Pretty Buddy.
Yeah, from
Misaka.
Railgun. Yeah, just like full size, just like I think I saw it in 5 different places, and I'm like,
Wow.
I get excited. I'm like, oh, Railgun. Oh, pachinko.
Yeah. So funny, like I remember, back in the day when we were like waiting for like the season 2 announcement and then their like pachinko announcement. Now the equivalent is like gotcha game or like cafe. So it's funny to see like pachinko being like still so much of a thing.
Yeah. Like you see a lot of Railgun and Ava too. Ava 2 was like sort of associated with pachinko, as I said, with the machine, but also like in the billboard outside or like the storefront. I was like looking back through some footage I took, and I did see Code Geass like on a billboard in Shibuya like one night. I don't know why, it was just up there. So
That's
I did
cool.
see that. I'm just trying to think. Like I didn't really see like a lot of older anime. I saw a lot of newer anime. So I actually did take footage. Like I'd be on the train at night, and I noticed they had like Skip and Loafer on like a billboard, and I have like video of it. They had Gundam Witch for Mercury. Like a lot of the seasonal stuff was being like promoted.
So they're like promoting seasonals too. Did they have any Yamada stuff?
Yamada, no, they did not.
Damn it!
It's the big.
No, that means
stuff.
We're not getting a season 2. Damn it!
Like I'd be on the train and they had like a Demon Slayer promotion.
Was Demon Slayer everywhere?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. Like they had a whole Demon Slayer ad on the train. On the like TV. I went to Kura Sushi and it was a whole Demon Slayer collaboration where like you got like the little what's it called? I don't know, the little gift item from Kura from the conveyor belt. Like once you get in, like you'd get a whole like animation of like Demon Slayer playing if you got it, if you won it. So so that was like kind of around. I'm trying to think of like other anime. Like I just like a lot of Blue Lock, a lot of Oshinoko. What else was airing last season?
Popular. It's a lot of Hell's Paradise was last season.
No, I didn't see any of that.
Okay, mid once again.
I didn't see too much of it.
Did you see a lot of like Jujutsu Kaisen, like My Hero Academia?
I didn't see Jujutsu Kaisen. I might have seen My Hero Academia. So
it really is the Demon Slayer show.
Yeah, kind of, like in the latest stuff I mentioned. And Ava, like that's kind of like the main stuff I saw. I'm like trying to think of like what else I saw. I mean, the only other time like where I saw older shows is like we went to this part of Tokyo called Nakano, where it's known for having this complex called Nakano Broadway, and it has like, all this anime merch where all of these weebs go to, but it's all like old school like collectibles like that they have, and it's floors and floors and multiple stores of just these different collectibles, and like there I would see like all the old stuff. you know, like,
Real shit.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Della Beat said, "We will collectively fund Yamada season 2," and that is correct. That is correct. We will be funding. We will be there, and we will be single-handedly funding it.
Gotta do it.
That's cool. Yeah, that sounds really cool and really fun. So,
Yeah, I just kind of like, again, I explored to a lot of parts of Tokyo. I went to the Ghibli Museum.
that was cool.
Couldn't record there, unfortunately, but I have it all up here. So
Classic. Well, you know how Ghibli is so bad with the copyright stuff on YouTube. It's only fitting that they wouldn't let you take videos of anything. Also, for anyone in chat, if you have any specific questions for Onimaru, I mean,
yeah, feel free. I know I'm like kind of just like rambling on. It's also like
I'm offering you up on a silver platter to be like, tell them about Japan.
I'm like just trying to also like remember like stuff. Yeah. Nakano Broadway is kind of amazing, but like I don't know. It's just I didn't have anything I was like looking for. Then again, I was kind of on an Ava hunt, so.
So besides the Ava stuff that you bought that people can see in your video firsthand, what was your favorite thing you bought non-Ava related?
I bought this big like Porco from Porco Rosso. It looked awesome from the Ghibli Museum. Like at the end, they had like the souvenir store, and I'm like, what do I get? And I'm like, I was tempted for like one thing, and I'm like, then I saw it. So I actually first saw it used at Nakano Broadway, and I was like, damn, that looks so cool. I don't know why. I kind of really want it, but I held myself back, and I was like, nah, maybe I shouldn't get it. And then I went to the Ghibli Museum, saw it again, brand new, and I'm like, and I had such a good time at the Ghibli Museum, like, I have to fucking get it. I'm getting it. And yeah, I got it, and it's awesome.
When you know, it's like the buyer's remorse it's like the opposite. You're like it was buyers need to get.
Yeah, and it was like a nice surprise too, because when we opened it up, I found out like after I bought it, that was also like a music box, so you can actually like you can like crank it, and then it just like spins Porco around and it plays music.
That's really cool.
So
that's dope.
Oh. So it doubles as like both.
Yeah. So Tom was wondering, what was the best meal you had? That's a great question.
All right, that's kind of tough. I ate a lot of food. I mean, like, you can't go wrong with convenience store food. Convenience store
That's so
food
funny.
is so on point. I keep like
That's so funny.
Shilling it, like the convenience store agenda. It's so good. You can live off of it. It's great.
Wild. That's so cool to hear.
Really good. It's just so convenient over there because they're open 24/7. There's like 22,000 convenience stores in Tokyo, so you see one every block, and it's convenient.
Lives up to the name.
Yeah, they really make it convenient. The food's always fresh.
Is it so? It's like if they give you a convenience store thing, how much do you have to like? You just heat it up in like a microwave or something? Is it all like pretty cold? Like,
it's like cold, but when you pay at the cashier, they offer like, "Do you want me to heat it up for you?"
I've seen that. Yeah. Okay, that makes so much sense.
So they usually offer, and you're like, no, I'm good, or they do like I get a rice ball or a curry pan, and they'll heat it up. Yeah. Oh, actually, one of the really cool things, and I know this is like I know it's like such a minor thing, but I was just mind blown. At the convenience store, they have like the coffee, like the canned coffee section, and like you have your like iced coffee in a bottle, whatever. But then if you want hot coffee, like just hot black coffee, like Boss Coffee, it is, or even with milk too, it's at the top, and you grab the can, and it is like boiling hot.
Oh, okay. I've seen that in like anime with the vending machines. I'm like, how is it hot?
Yeah, and they just keep it there stacked like hot, and I'm like, my God. I'm like, I don't even want this, but it's just like, it's great. It was actually burning my hand. I was like, this really hurts. You can get alcohol there. What was the other thing? Oh, the other cool convenient thing is like they have like if you want iced coffee, like fresh iced coffee, they have like cups of ice in the fridge, like in the little freezer section. So you just grab like a sealed cup of ice, you pay for it, and then you peel it, and then you just make it like put it in the coffee machine at the end. You just make iced coffee.
You just make your own iced coffee.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So got a question from Ultimate Mega X. Did you prefer going around Ikebukuro or Akiba?
Akiba.
Akiba? Whoops.
Yeah, that's the Weeb Mecca, Akihabara.
Yeah, that's like my like Steins Gate is.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you prefer Durarara or Steins Gate?
I mean, Radio Kaikon is where I found my Asuka figurine, so.
That's true.
I don't know. I actually like. I'm not like the. I've been to Akihabara now twice, and both times I was kind of like okay with it. Like I wasn't like super impressed. So
Okay.
Ikebukuro kind of is like. It's interesting because Ikebukuro feels like, and that was my first time going to Ikebukuro. It has a little bit of everything. So it has like the nightlife, a little bit of the nightlife, the bar scene. It has the weeb like mecca sort of feel. So there's a ton of like anime stores and like merch, and some of the cafes were even there. And it's just like nice to walk around. So like it has a little bit of everything. So I'd say I prefer Ikebukuro. I mean,
here.
I mean, it also had the Evangelion store. So.
Okay, so you're just basing it on some Evangelion merch.
No. Everything I said before this was true. I'm adding as a bonus the Evangelion store. Also, it also had Muscle Girls. So.
Okay. Did they have any?
Did you watch that video too?
Muscle? No, I didn't watch that yet.
Oh, so there's like another video I did before this. So my friend convinced me to go to the Muscle Girls bar in Ikebukuro. I don't know if you've definitely seen it or heard of it, because I think there's like some Anitubers or YouTubers that have been to it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Does that ring any bells?
No, I have no idea. Okay. I kept thinking of the anime with the Muscle Girls. So
well, it is kind of like that, but they're real life Muscle Girls.
So we got AC Wagyu or Gayu Katsu. What are what? Explain what these are too, because I'm just butchering.
All you can eat Wagyu, or Gyukatsu Motomura, which is like this spot in Shinjuku that they have like beef or it's steak tempura, so it's like fried steak, and that you cook like right in front of yourself, like on this like kind of like charcoal. What is it? That's not charcoal, but it's like this. I don't know how to explain it. I have video of it though. It's pretty good.
So which one would you pick?
I would pick the all-you-can-eat Wagyu. That was in Ginza, and it was like, I think the best steak I've eaten in my life. Like it just melts in your mouth. The guy like cooked it in front of us, and then it just like you kept ordering, and it was like, it looks almost raw, but it was really good. Like
sounds awesome. Yeah, okay, that sounds great.
It was really awesome.
That sounds great.
I'm trying to think of what else was like a food favorite. I mean, I did really enjoy having yakitori over there. Actually, my favorite food memory, like food experience, I don't know if it was my favorite food, but like food experience was in Harajuku. We were like visiting Harajuku, and we were walking around, and my friend found this spot like behind like this art museum that was just kind of like hidden away, tucked away. And then we sat down, and we didn't know that like it was like a monjayaki spot, which is like, have you heard of okonomiyaki? Like it's like the pancake. It's like yeah, but it's like a savory pancake that like I think you've seen in anime. So monjayaki is like, long story short, it's like the Tokyo version of that. And so we sat down and we're gonna like have some, and then as they hand us the menu, we find out that it's like you have to cook it yourself. And I think that's actually, I was told after, that's like the authentic way, like you actually do cook it yourself. But none of us were ready at all to do that. So we were just like, oh, what do we do here? So they just brought us out the ingredients, and we were just like trying our best to not burn this place down nor fuck this up. So
that's really fun.
Yeah, that was actually like really fun because it wasn't planned at all. It was just like, oh, we're hungry. Oh, but we have to cook our food.
It's so bad that all of my mental references for this go back to Persona 5, and I have to keep reminding myself that you haven't played Persona 5. And I think if you play it, you'll be like, oh, it's just like there.
Like literally, my friend was telling me that before the trip. It was like, oh, you're going to all these spots that were in Persona 5. I'm like, yeah, I know. But like, I would love to have the frame of reference. I'm like, I'm so tempted. But
you definitely should. I think you would enjoy that.
I almost did like a month ago, but then I saw like I'd have to invest 100 hours no matter what, and I'm like, yeah. I don't got time.
It goes by, out of many of the games that I've spent 100 hours on, that one definitely goes by the quickest. So yeah, lots of fun. Angst asked if you met a smoking goth girl behind the convenience store.
Yes.
I don't know if that's a reference.
I don't know if it's a meme.
I don't know if it's me, but if you actually
But
did, that's
I
me.
didn't meet them, but I definitely saw some. Saw all types of characters. Yeah, there was like one time like I saw like a group of people that like definitely looked like they came out of like a biker anime. Like they were just
That's
like
dope.
crouching down by the hotel, just smoking and just looking
Okay.
tough. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not walking by them.
Did people smoke a lot there more compared to the US? Because I feel like we have a lot of smokers, but it's not like I don't know. I always feel like I hear that like they smoke a lot more in Japan. I don't know if I'm just making that up.
I don't think I noticed. I don't think like it was
Okay.
like
That might
often.
be comparable. I don't know.
I
Because,
think
you hear about like businessmen smoking and stuff all the time.
yeah, I think like they mostly. I think I could be wrong. I think they mostly only smoke outside. So because it's outside, I
Okay.
don't really
Yeah.
wasn't really
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Um,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to like a lot of spots in terms of the districts and wards, and it was pretty fun. Got to know a lot
That's
of it.
cool.
The train system, a lot of little stuff that's like very like convenient. That's like increases the quality of life. You know, that's kind of like interesting. It's like, oh, that's kind of really smart. I wish we had that here. Like for some reason, like at every like restaurant we'd go to, there'd be like a basket under your chair, and at first it was like, what's this basket for? And it was to just put your belongings in.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, and it was just like,
I would like
oh,
that.
just
That'd
dump
be
it all in the
nice.
basket, and then it doesn't have to like hang underneath the table. You're kicking it. It's in its basket. You're done. You pick it up and you leave.
That's cool. That's really cool.
One time it was raining, and we went to a store, and then they had these plastic bags for your umbrella at the front of the store. So you just
That's
put your
cool.
umbrella in a plastic bag. Oh, I went to I went to Shimokitazawa. So there you go. That's the place from Bocchi the Rock.
Okay, so I think that was cool.
Yeah, yeah. I went to the Bocchi wall, the one with the
The boat.
yeah.
Oh, where they do the picture? That's cute.
Yeah, I went to find it, and it was like my wife's like not believing it exists because it's like literally like in this abandoned alley. It does not look as nice as like
Oh yeah, I imagine they make it
like
look
it's
a lot
like in the
nicer
middle of
in
nowhere.
Bochi.
Like we're following the GPS. She's like, "Where is this? It's raining. Let's go." I'm like, "No, I need to find it." It's like she's not
That's
invested
funny.
in the show at all. Like you don't get it. And then I found it, and it was like the most. I mean, the wall itself was cool, but like when I got there, I didn't even know I was there. I'm like, "Where is it? This is just an empty lot." And I turn around like, "Oh, there it is." And then she's like, "Okay, we found it. Let's go." I'm like, "No, no, no! I need a picture."
That's so funny.
So yeah, and then Shimokitazawa was cool because that's like the bohemian like part of Tokyo. So that was like all these vintage clothing shops, all that.
That's
so That was
cool.
pretty cool. Definitely the hipster vibe, and that's like
Yeah.
why Bocchi takes place there. I did not go to Starry only because thought about it because that's where they play the club. But I read online that they didn't want people loitering in front of there anymore because I guess a lot of fans just started going there. So I'm like,
It's like, oh, it's just like Bochi.
I don't want to be that fan. So I'm like, all right. So I didn't like go. Plus, it was like raining really hard that day, so I could only convince to go to the wall.
It only go as far as the wall and then nothing.
Yeah.
Did you see a lot of Attack on Titan stuff?
Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan. I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did.
It's a toss, I think.
Yeah. I definitely saw like some final season stuff.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't a lot. Like it's not top of mind.
Okay, it's all Demon Slayer all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Like I'm trying to think. Like anime was like both like always around but also at the same time
In the
not.
background?
Yeah, yeah. Like it was always
Okay,
kind
that
of
makes
like
sense.
you would see anime but at the same time like, it's cuz it's not really the norm, it's like
Yeah,
it's there in like spurts.
that makes
So,
sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of like it. Trying to think of like anything else that was fun that I did. Yeah, but I mostly did the Weeb stuff. I tried the Totoro cream puffs. Those are pretty good.
That sounds cute. Oh,
Oh, and reserve if you do future reference for anyone that wants to go to Tokyo and you want to go to the Ghibli Museum, the reservations for that, it's not a fucking joke.
really? I can see that.
That was like it's for those of you that know, it's one day in the month and only at one time, and that books the whole month out.
Wow.
So
Why
that's
wouldn't they have more?
so it is on the 10th of the month at 10 a.m. which is 9 p.m. our time or my time. And yeah, so, and then in 30 minutes, it's done. And that's the whole month. So
Wow, that's crazy. That's
yeah,
a lot.
yeah. I think I refreshed 500 times.
That is the Taylor Swift of Japanese events.
I was like telling a friend about it. She's like, yeah, I've always had to do that for concerts. Like, oh, okay. It's like, it was crazy. It was like, I got in and then it crashed. And it was like, okay, refresh again. And then I was like doing every step by step with 500 refreshes in between. So it's like, I made it.
That's wild. Well, now I want to go, but I don't want to go to kill people to get there along the way. But that sounds pretty cool.
You should do it. Oh, I did see the Gundam in Odaiba. So that was cool.
That's cool.
Odaiba itself wasn't cool because that was like in the middle of Golden Week and it was a nightmare. The crowds were at their worst and it was hot and it was just... They don't crank up the AC over there either, so...
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that sounds cool. Does anyone else have any questions on Japan? Because I think I'm not sure if you covered it all. I think you covered it all.
I mean, it's what has it been, like 40 minutes? I think I covered it all.
Never enough for Japan.
Yeah. Definitely recommend you go. If I go again, I'm gonna definitely hit up I think I got I got a good feel for Tokyo, so next time I just go to other places.
That sounds yeah, does Miyazaki personally belittle you as you go in? That would make the Ghibli experience for me. Does he tell you you disappoint him like his son kind of thing?
There's a recording of him, which is like the disappointment.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
The recording said,
the recording
you are not serious people.
Yeah. There was a lot of CSM stuff. Yeah, I did see a lot of Chainsaw Man stuff.
You did? Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, because we were trying to get a Pochita stuffed plush doll for my wife's cousin, so we easily found that. So there was a lot of
cute.
Chainsaw Man stuff and Chainsaw Man advertisements and stuff like that. So
that's cool. That's pretty awesome. That sounds like fun. And now I want to go right now.
You should. Just Weebs go to Japan.
Just Weebs Japan. I would love that. That would be pretty fun. So that's kind of cool to see. Because that was also, I forget, it was airing last time. So that's good to see the Chainsaw Man stuff is still pretty popular.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of merch for Chainsaw Man here and there. But that was kind of it. Yeah, that's kind of it for the Japan stuff. I think now, if no one has any other questions, I think we could move on to the pod stuff.
And now the real podcast begins.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to explain kind of what you had in mind? Because I think it makes sense, but we've also talked about it a lot. So it might be a good for a quick refresher on the frame of reference
for
this.
Definitely. So what I was thinking for this post Japan stuff was we were just gonna kind of casually talk about so far and obviously get you guys' input too, so far what we've done with the pod, how we feel about it, episodes we liked, maybe stuff that we personally think might have not worked, and kind of our thought just sharing our thought process behind it. Since we did have this long hiatus, it would be it'd be kind of cool to just have this time to sort of reflect and just sort of either determine or just talk about where we kind of what we'd like and would like to keep doing, what you guys like, and where we would like to take it next. So that's kind of the gist.
Yeah. So we are soliciting feedback.
Taking feedback now. But personally, would you like to start, Shaw? Putting you on the spot.
I don't know. I think
it's I don't want to have this conversation. This was your
No, it's
idea.
always no. Yeah, it's
I mean, I did make us do the Mushoku Tensei pod. I will take.
No, I have fun with the I had fun with the Mushoku Tensei pod. For people who didn't See, we got one of the funniest one of the funniest comments on like Apple podcasts or something, where someone left a
was
review.
hilarious. That was hilarious.
So they left us a 2-star review, and it was something like worst Mushoku Tensei opinion I've ever heard. And
we were just like, what opinion? Which one?
We were like, which one? Which one? Like, obviously it was probably mine because I was like really iffy on it, and no one is like, no one goes into a podcast talking about Mushoku Tensei and liking it, and someone's like, that's the worst opinion. That's what I don't want to hear.
I could be wrong, but I thought it was a pretty inoffensive pod too. Like not inoffensive. I wouldn't say inoffensive, but like we tried to be pretty balanced. That's the word.
Yeah. I mean, I think we tried. I think it was fun. I don't know if I had fun with it, but I don't know if other people did. Obviously, this person didn't. I just think it's really funny, too, because they also were like, I'm unsubscribing for this, but they still gave us 2 stars. Like, that's pretty nice for someone who's rage quitting. Like, why would they not just, like, 1 star and be like, ass, we're done? But,
yeah, true.
But
maybe they left us with a little bit of dignity.
They did. That 1 star was for your opinion on Mushoku Tensei.
I think so. I saved it. I did it for the
You
team.
saved it from the 1-star jail. Yeah, but I mean, I had fun with it. I think it's cool when we have different opinions on something. Maybe I could have explained my opinions a bit better.
I think you did that's a good fair. Job. I think you.
I don't remember any of it, so
I don't remember either. But I remember being like, you know what, Shaw's on point.
Yeah.
I did have a lot of fun with the Hunter x Hunter live stream.
I like the Hunter x Hunter live stream.
Just because, like, I had recently caught up, and it was just so good.
I can definitely. I mean, I obviously can talk about Hunter x Hunter nonstop, so that's a lot of fun. And I love when other people are there to listen and like talk back. That makes it a lot better. So I have fun with that. I think, yeah. I mean, reflecting, it's kind of cool because I was thinking about this actually. That your season 1 is actually your season 1 started before me joining the podcast. It actually had like you kind of going around talking to a bunch of people, and then I kind of became like the reoccurring guest turned main character. Like I'm like the Danny DeVito of the podcast going on for season 2.
It's like you started out with cameos and then you just got promoted.
Yeah. I come up and yeah, that's where I feel. So that's how I feel.
I mean, we could technically count that as season 0, I guess. Like that's
no. I want to be the Danny DeVito, and I want to be Always Sunny. Yeah, because I started watching Always Sunny, so I appreciate that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think I heard about that.
Yeah. So I think that's kind. So how do you feel about like you definitely came out of the gate talking to a bunch of different people and having different topics. Like you said, I remember one of your initial things was you said like you wanted to have like conversations with people in the community. Do you feel like you've kind of established an interesting sense of like talking to people in the community that you didn't get before?
I feel like I have and I haven't. I feel like I started with that idea like from like a genuine like I wanted to actually like try to do it, and I was like trying to engage because I at some point I had realized like I kind of like I've been engaging with anime, but I actually wasn't like really engaging with anyone in the community, and I was like, oh, maybe it'd be good to like try to get to talk to more people and like just see like other opinions and stuff like that. But I don't think.
And then you heard some, and you're like, "Now I'm gonna go back."
Yeah, I think like this is it. And I just think the problem is like I think somewhere halfway, like I stopped like fully committing to it, and because of that, I feel like I kind of limited myself from like really like reaching out like and sort of like engaging more with the community as I could have. So that's like really part of it, I think.
Way of saying you didn't develop a Twitter addiction, which is
I
definitely
think that's
praiseworthy.
Really, I'm glad you're just seeing right through me, making it easy. Yeah, no, I didn't develop a Twitter addiction. It was like, do I really want to be on Twitter? And it was like, no, it's kind of dying. So, well, it's dying now.
I think it's on the comeback tour, and then Threads is dead on. I mean, speaking of dead on arrival,
is totally on brand. I'm glad this did not die. I'm glad this is still on point.
I literally hate my camera so much. Return to 0.
Your camera hates you.
So bad.
I think we need to like have a face-off between you and your camera to see who's the bigger hater.
I hate my camera.
You're like Onimaru, this isn't fucking funny. This is annoying.
No, it's funny, but I do hate my camera. So we do have to do the 9 anime movies that are worth watching. Because have you been in on the like?
No. I
Okay,
immediately
that's
said
it.
no. No, what were you gonna say?
So there's like these, like aesthetic anime accounts. I feel like I've complained about this before.
I think you have, but not regarding movies, just in general.
So there's like, these anime aesthetic accounts that post, anime films worth watching, and then they'll have the posters of like 9 movies that all have very similar looking posters. There's like 4 Shinkai films. They'll throw in a Ghibli film. A Silent Voice, and then like Pancreas. It's all the like kind of sad romance tear bait kind of ones.
Yeah.
Sorry to use tear bait when I don't like using it, but it works for this context.
That's offensive, Shaw.
It is. So they do that, and then they'll recycle the same image and recommendations. So I started keeping a running log of like anime films worth watching where they just kind of recycle the same picture. Like it's like literally the same picture. And I think I got through like 9 iterations of tweets posting the same one, but they switch like one recommendation.
Yeah.
So we can do like the most quintessential anime films worth watching.
Why don't we just do like
but then our picks.
The most unaesthetic anime movies worth watching.
The most like you can't.
Yeah, non-aesthetic, but like genuinely good movies are just not aesthetic.
That would be funny. Like the ones that will not be ripped off by an aesthetic account.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I feel like I've watched enough anime movies now to be able to make that list. I think. I don't know. I've watched more. I watched
but I mean,
so.
You've seen more anime films worth watching than I have, because I've not seen Suzume.
I wouldn't go that far, but definitely aesthetic right here.
Yeah.
One of the things though that I did want to bring up, when I was like reflecting on stuff, like one of the things that with the pod, I think my problem, like I've made it a problem, like I've always wanted to be like really chill about the pod, but I end up like making it very stressful for myself. And that's just like, because I'm always like constantly thinking of like, I think at one point you pointed it out to me, and this is just me being candid. So if I'm being too candid, let me know.
I don't think you can be too candid.
You pointed out to me a long time ago, and it was a really good way of putting it. And you weren't mad at me or anything. You were just saying like, hey man, not every podcast has to be an event, like.
Oh,
and I remember that, and I was like, oh, you're right. And that was like early, like pretty early on.
Yeah.
Where it was like, it doesn't have to be an event. It could just be just a regular podcast. And I got stuck in this cycle of like, what's next? What's the next exciting thing? Because I wanted to, keep our viewers engaged. I wanted to kind of, at some point, I wanted to like live up to why you guys like subscribed or know I was providing like what we were providing, like something worth listening to or worth watching. And then I would like stress myself out about it. And then I didn't know how to like turn that off and be like, okay, what's a normal podcast that's like still interesting and not this like giant event? And
yeah,
so that's like one of the things I think, like reflecting on that, like I probably could have chilled out a bit more with, or I had trouble with.
Makes sense too, because I think we talked about it at the same time, is that like you also come from this angle of like making anime YouTube videos where like each time you do have a video, like you put in hours worth of editing and like you think of the concept and you put it all together, like, so it is kind of an event.
Yeah.
Like, so that I can understand that perspective too. And then also, to be fair to you, is like, some of the first podcasts we had together, like within our first 10 podcast runs, we were talking to like Giga and Super Eye Patch Wolves, which is like, 2 of the biggest, creators on there, which is like still insane. First off, Onimaru is why Giga came on the pod. They're besties. And I think that's just like the coolest thing we've done. Like, that's really cool that you were able to reach out to Giga and we had this really like open conversation that Giga was really nice and totally open to. And then I think, then we also talked to Super Eye Patch Wolf a couple episodes later, which was also like equally fun and exciting. So it was very cool that like these very big, very busy creators in the same space as us were willing to make time and like, come on the podcast. And, we've had other amazing guests, but I mean, those, at least when you look at it in terms of people you don't expect to come on your podcast because they look incredibly busy and they have so many like other things going on. Those are probably two of the top people I would not expect to come on, and they did. So it sets the bar pretty high.
Yeah. Like it did, I guess, in a way, inadvertently, because it wasn't part of the plan. It was just sort of, we were going with it, but it then like it made it feel like, all right, this is an event, and like it set that event mindset in place, at least for me. And you know, and I guess like that's true. And plus, I think like I'm like reflecting on it now recently. Like I was also approaching the podcast like in like you said like videos, and I don't think you can fully approach a podcast like that. Like maybe in some cases for like again event type things, like if a special or something. But I think it's like it's in some ways it's like a different animal, like the nature of the podcast, because a lot of it is like, and anyone can chime in if I'm wrong here, it's not so much like too much about, I mean, unless depending on what you're going for, like so much as writing on the topic itself. It's more about how you can make whatever topic shine, you know, like in terms of like just making it fun or making it engaging, or just in the end of the day, even if you deviate and you go back to it, have a good time.
Agree with that. I think that's also, it is kind of like, that's when you know, I think you can really truly shine with anything, is when we have the like, you know, any conversation goes and you still have fun with it. Sorry, I got distracted because Silly Serpentines, what a great name. Have you had Jamal of Get in the Mecha on? We have. That's another one of our great guests that I thought of when I was like, you know, thinking of all of the amazing guests that we've had on. He was amazing. That was, I think it was only a few pods ago, which was, you know, like a year ago.
Yeah. It was like, so, I think like, what?
5 or 6 pods ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 6 pods ago.
6 pods ago, yeah.
Yeah, that was a really amazing episode. They're so insightful and so cool, and I feel like they kind of like challenge us to raise our game a bit and be like, you know, try and know what we're talking about. And you know, more than usual, as in we have to know like technical terms, and we can't just like throw out words and not know what they mean. We can, but no, they were really cool on the show. Yeah,
I was surprised to find out they were Just Weebs fan.
They were. I was like, no,
I was like, you listen to us, but you're so good. Why would you?
That's right. I'm like, oh my god. And then the funniest thing is they remember Tay not liking. No, they don't remember like Tay or Tom liking Sengatsu when we read people's hot takes. That's like what they remember. Actually, and I'm like, you know what? I would remember that too, honestly. If I just came on and it's like, what are they saying?
That was definitely a take.
Yeah, he is great. And we also had like pause and select on, you know, just like we've had Colleen on. That's pretty cool. You know, we've had a lot of really great guests on. So I feel very lucky in that regard. And I think for our own level of like, stop laughing. Why are you laughing? I'm about to say something.
The recent comment. You just
Okay, how do you say Toka's friends, and then how does he say Toka's friends?
Tuka. He says Tuka.
Tuka, but it's Toka.
We corrected him, but he said it's Tuka.
But he doesn't want to. Okay, I kind of respect that because I mispronounce everything. Okay,
he doubled down. He doubled down.
That is arguably our best podcast.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I have to say, I think that's arguably our best highlight. Like the highlight channel. Yeah. That's amazing. 100%. It's God tier.
If you guys haven't seen that and you want like a good laugh because it's been a while, like I'm not trying to shill us because it's like, you know, our channel, whatever.
It's not really chilling because that channel's kind of dead, but like the last highlight is that one, and it's amazing.
Go to the highlights channel we have and look at that and just like, do we bring him back for the last Attack on Titan episode? Is he still around?
I think. Okay. I don't know.
We didn't do anything. We do have to bring him back. But here's the funniest thing. You know how like this is literally, I think, the funniest progressions of like anything that's happened related to me is we had him on and he was like, he's really funny, really entertaining, very genuine. Like he's just like, that's just how he is. Like we talked to him before the podcast came out. He's just like that. He's very high energy, entertaining, whatever. we were talking about like airing shows at the time, and it was like 2021, and we were both big on Odd Taxi, and we're like, hey, Odd Taxi anime of the year, and Odd Taxi's anime of the year material. So he actually watches it, and then his next video is Odd Taxi is not
yeah.
anime of the year.
Yeah, it's not anime of the year.
I was just like, that's just like the best. Like, you know, people like just either don't take your recommendations or they do, but none of them are like have a conversation to you about how they feel with them.
Oh my god.
What a gem.
So funny.
That was awesome. I cannot.
And it's funny because like you invited him on because you were just like, well, you didn't know if it was a bit. You were just like,
I didn't know if it was a bit. I wanted to find out.
And then we found out live that it was not.
It was not. No, which is just really, that makes it better.
Yeah.
So before walking down memory, we did tell him to watch Kino's Journey. I don't know if he watched Kino's Journey. It's not anime of the year, though. He didn't say
Definitely
it's
not.
Oh my god. Well, I was gonna say before. I'm sorry. It's just so funny remembering that.
Oh wait. You were gonna say something profound before I
was gonna say something heartfelt, and it's ruined.
No. You can still say it. You can still come back.
Well, I was gonna be. Since you were being like cool and transparent, I was gonna be transparent, and then you started laughing, and that's why I'm like, stop laughing.
It's not my fault that the chat is sabotaging us. They don't want the heartfelt shit.
However, chat is too goated. No, because we were talking about like great guests we had, and I know that like we talked somewhat early on about like we wanted podcasts to be interesting with or without guests. Like we didn't want to have to rely on like having a cool guest to have a good conversation, but it was like a good balance between like we're both talking and it's hopefully fun and engaging for people, and then also like we're soliciting feedback from the audience and community and commenting on that. So I think finding a good balance of that is really cool. And I think like probably, I don't know, thinking about like one of my favorite like series that we did is like when people submitted like their mouths to us and then we just commented on them for like 3 episodes straight, where we just had like in-depth review of them, and then we like realized we spent like so much time on it, but we got so many submissions and it was like really fun to just go through and see how many different like, you know, layouts, scores, favorites people had.
First of all, I'd like to make a formal apology that I think I burned out like in the middle of like one of those. So I
just disassociated.
I think at some point, and it's not like anything was wrong with the episodes or the content. I just felt like at some point, because a lot of the mouths did end up being like a little similar. It just felt like I was like saying the same thing. So it was just like, I'm not really offering anything new. So then at one point I just started stressing myself out. I'm like, is this getting too repetitive? But Sha was still like a champ, just having a great time. So I'm like, all right, sorry for not committing all the way.
I just feel bad. I think also it's like so many people submitted stuff, and then they would keep submitting their mouth. They're like, hey, I'm sorry if I'm late. You guys said you're going to do another episode on this. So it was like, I don't know. I feel like I definitely did want to go through everyone, because I've also been where it's like, you know, you submit something for someone to review on their show, and then they don't get to it, and you're like, no, but I wanted to see mine. And
well, on the flip side of that, though, we were also like trying to, because the thing is like we could have left it for another episode. Like it could have come back in the future. So like that way it incentivizes it to be a reoccurring thing. Because then if we get everyone, then we can't do it again. Yeah. So so I didn't want it to feel like we were gonna cut anyone out, but it was also like, well, if we didn't get you this time, we could get you next time. You know? Yeah. We'd eventually like look at it, or we'd save it like on an Excel sheet, and then if we open it up again, we'll definitely prioritize those or something like that. So it's about more content, Shaw.
It's true. It's cool. Aang said that was fun, and that audience participation is definitely one of the reasons this pod is so entertaining, and Tom agreed. So that was cool. That's good feedback to hear.
Do you want to tell him?
No, that sounds good. Because I think it's definitely good to continue to incorporate like the chat aspect and like talking.
I also have to work on being less ominous, apparently.
Who said that?
You.
I didn't say that.
Nah, you didn't
No.
actually say that.
No, you would say that to me when it's like offline and you just say something like, what the fuck does that mean? Doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I had a lot of fun with our Legend of the Galactic Weebs podcast. That was great.
Me too. That was cool. We got mentioned on YouTube Digest. We got the top billing for once. I was like, damn, we should let's just keep talking about Shabe's favorites and then see what happens.
We're going through all his favorites.
Yeah. No, that was a lot of fun too. Do people like Okay, this is just a ask the audience situation. Do people like when we do have those like single series focused podcasts when it's like, you know, a big series, or do you guys like it more when we have like multiple topics?
Yeah, I've been wondering that too. Cause like we've tried both, and
Yeah.
in both cases I've like wondered like, are we alienating people by either doing a full series podcast where like someone's like, well, I haven't watched it, so I can't watch this episode, that already excludes me, or doing like an episode where we're doing all these smaller topics, but then we're tangenting into like, I don't know, like actual live action movies or regular stuff we're watching. Because then at that point it's like, well, this is an anime podcast, you know, why are you like,
Yeah.
you know, maybe like you're signed up, you want to hear about anime, you don't want to like, maybe all this other stuff isn't relevant to you, maybe you don't care about what I think about John Wick 4.
That's a good question.
Yeah, so that's like what I was like, that's what I wonder.
Yeah, so it looks like multiple, both, and yes or both. And Ham Sarah's gonna. You did not miss Oshinoko talk. Not really. I mean, we might have more Oshinoko talk in future episodes, but for now, I think we could just say like Kana best girl.
Kana is best girl.
Yes, we are in agreement. The council
But
is
I did read the latest chapter, so.
I didn't say I'm waiting for the chapters to build up, but
Well, I kind of made a mistake then.
no. I think you did. No, you did good. I mean, I think everyone's read the last chapter, even if they're not reading the manga, because we've just seen everything about it.
Yeah, essentially, I feel like I read it on my feed, so.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I read Chainsaw Man every week.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah. By the way, Chainsaw Man, it's been good.
So it has not fallen off, even though, because I see every publishing manga has fallen off at some point because
really,
people talk about that.
Really quick, sorry, and that is true actually, but it has not fallen off. But really quick, just while we're reflecting, I want to genuinely reflect on how you did not read Fire Punch and you fed me to the wolves. I would like to say,
yes,
it was an experience.
Fire Punch. Oh, so you're commenting on Fire Punch or me not reading Fire Punch?
Oh no, I'm commenting on Fire Punch.
Okay, I will read Fire Punch. I will read Fire Punch.
No, don't do it. I would like to say that Chainsaw Man is Fujimoto holding back,
which I have heard and is interesting to hear.
Chainsaw Man is like, how do I word this? Like it's
like the clean versus explicit version of like a rap song.
Perfect. Exactly that. It is the kid-friendly radio version compared to Fire Punch.
That's funny.
Yes, you fed me to the wolves.
I feel like wolves will be involved. Okay, I'm gonna read it.
Actually,
I don't even think
there are wolves involved.
That's what I remember hearing. So that's why I'm like, did you actually get fed to the wolves?
Yeah. No, but it was a good time.
Okay. Do you like it more than Chainsaw Man, or
no?
Okay.
Like a good time, as in like I remember disassociating like a bunch of times.
I love saying disassociating because it really just happens to be like a lot where I'm like, sorry, I just disassociated from reality, coming back.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those. Actually, yes, perfect. The Kids Bop version. Chainsaw Man is the Kids Bop version.
Can you make a YouTube video about Fire Punch and then just say Chainsaw Man is the Kids Bop version of Fire Punch as the title?
For the memes. I think I'm going to write it down now. All right. Let me know who wants to see that. I'm going to start working on the script tonight. We will make this happen.
That sounds amazing.
Shaw, I need you to read Fire Punch by like Sunday. We'll get this out.
I can do it. I will make it happen. I'm on it.
You go to your husband like, sorry, plans are canceled. I got homework.
I'm in my shoujo reading arc, so I can do Fire Punch. I can do it.
That's gonna be jarring. Like, nice wholesome shoujo, Fire Punch.
Yeah, I'm ready. Well, I read one yesterday that's like catching up on the one that's airing now, and it's all been like pretty good, whatever. Now I just need like the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's always good. And that's kind of like going back to like us and like our topics and stuff like that. One of the things I thought about recently, like I guess realization or whatever, is that like I think speaking for myself and I think you too, like we both kind of like a little bit of everything. We like knowing like kind of everything that's going on. We don't really have like a particular genre. Like we have favorites obviously, but like in terms of the media we engage with, we kind of are curious and we want to like just read and watch anything and everything. There's no like, you know, like sort of bias or like, you know, something that we would say no to or are averse to. And so I think like doing multiple topics and doing like kind of whatever we're interested in really is the best reflection of our pod, you know, so going that route, because like I think it needs to start with just what we're interested in and then whoever's along for the ride, because that's just kind of what we're into. I think the only other component I think is like I could be wrong here, but like just it starts with what we're interested in, and then from there it just like is just how do we make it interesting for other people. That's kind of it.
Definitely.
What do you think?
Like, I agree with that, and I think it's always like an interesting line of how do we get to that point. Sometimes I think it comes across a bit more naturally. Maybe if we're enthusiastic about it, it's interesting. But then sometimes I wonder, I'm like, what if we're not as interesting as we think we are sometimes? That's the real question.
I'll pinpoint it now. There's like episodes that I have in my head that I know were that, you know, and that's just because we had like, we were feeling it and we came in hot.
Up and off?
Yeah. At least I was having such a good time that I didn't even care. So if you didn't have a good time, I had a good time. I'm pretty sure you had a good time. I think, well, definitely the Nana episode.
We had so much fun with that.
I always remember the Nana episode.
The Nana episode was fun. We were definitely dying too.
Also, I mean, that was good. Also, the Cyberpunk episode.
Yeah, Cyberpunk is fun. I feel like a lot of times there are these like, maybe Nana's not the best example because a lot of people like Nana, but sometimes when we're both like on the same wavelength for a show like Cyberpunk, and not necessarily everyone agrees with us because not everyone's as high on Cyberpunk as we are, but that was like tons of fun where we're like, yes, we get it. This is our show. This is our media.
And even though this kind of leaned more towards like what I was like concerned about earlier about like, you know, like whether it's relevant for people in terms of like listening to an anime podcast, I think we had a lot of fun with the Squid Game podcast.
We did fun with Squid, because also we both like Squid Game.
Yeah,
like
it was a good time. A lot of memes. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. All this is Silly Serpentine said, I think what you guys have been doing is great. TBH just feels like you need more exposure. Thank you.
You guys just give us this great feedback.
Thank you.
I don't know what to do with it.
You can internalize it.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. I'm gonna tangent real quick and then tangent back. We didn't get to do the Weebies this year. That was the other thing we had planned.
That was true. That was, and you know what? That also kind of came as part of. I don't know if we really cared about what we watched in 2022 that much.
We did though. Bocchi the Rock.
Did we? Oh, we did like Bocchi the Rock. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we
or at least we didn't even get to talk. Like we never had a year-end like. We didn't get to talk about like wrap up of the shows for last year.
Do we do a really old Weebies for 2022?
I think we should. I think we should just do, what would we call it? Or maybe it's just a Weebies 2022.
Weebies 2022, and then we get dressed up and we're like
late Weebies. It's like,
mid-year Weebies.
And then everyone's like confused midstream, like the year hasn't ended. What are you guys doing? Yeah. Like, no, this is for last year. Like, oh.
Well, it's actually kind of fitting because Crunchyroll wouldn't allow the like fall 2022 season in their award show, which is why everyone was so like down on it, because they were like, okay, so you guys just blocked out, damn it, like Bocchi, Mob Psycho, Bleach, Chainsaw Man, everything that aired in fall 2022 wasn't eligible for the Crunchyroll awards. So no one gave a shit because it's like half of the year is just not allowed. So we can do it now that we're pretty much at fall
Fall
2023.
22. Yeah, let's do it. The Weebs. We'll invite Giguk on. We'll invite Eye
Yeah.
Patch Wolf. We'll bring back Pause and Select. All of them. All
In the
of them.
same room.
Same room. Yeah, we should do it.
Oh,
I mean, I'm down if people want to watch it. Would we would do the whole year then? We would do from winter 2022 to fall 2022, right?
I think we could do that.
All right.
I'm looking back at everything I watched last year. I'm like, I've finished most of it,
There's
maybe.
definitely stuff I liked.
There is a lot. I think I liked a lot of stuff, actually. Now that I'm remembering the past year, I'm like, I think I liked this year.
There's a lot of stuff I forgot, honestly, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Mid-year Weebies would be so funny.
The mid-year Weebies. Mid-year Weebies. There's got to be a way to title it. Oh, Toka's friends can present anime of the century.
If Toka's friends came on, I would be so happy. Like,
I think he needs to present an award. And I think it needs to be... Was Attack on Titan last year?
Yeah.
We need to have him on to talk about Attack on Titan for like a segment.
Yeah, because part 2, the last, one of the final parts, part 2 final parts, yeah, we could do final parts. Musk, don't you dare. Musk is like mid-year Weebies in a mid-year of anime.
That's
How dare
funny.
you?
He just dropped the mic.
Not during Yama's season.
I don't agree, but I like the line.
Honestly, he's not even like wrong. Like I've liked a bunch of shows, but I don't think the rest of the year will be cooking that much.
Has it been mid? I mean, I did like this last season.
I like this last season, but what if I don't know if anything else will be cooking? We'll find out.
Isn't there like 3 shows? We'll talk about it later.
Guess what? I added 2 more shows to the 2 shows I thought were only airing this season.
Right. There was another one that just came out on Netflix like today, and I was like,
yes, that's the one.
I was cranking it up. I'm like, wait, Sean hadn't mentioned it.
No, Sean missed. I watched that one, and then I'm watching that on Anku. How do you say it? Whatever.
Guys,
I have to look up how this.
We're deviating too much. This is my fault.
We're deviating. Sorry, we had
we
had at least 3 tangents ago to reference.
Yeah. And you know, I think we're good at it. I think we should make a career in it. But this is an episode where we got to be serious. We got to.
This is not. That ship has sailed. Let's get Toka's friends.
That's like that ship's
back
gone.
on the pod.
Let's get Toka's friends.
I need to see what Toka's friends is up to.
I think he hasn't posted a video in a while, actually.
No.
I can't believe this is what the pod.
He posted one 13 days ago. He's more recent than us. We have not posted in 7 months, and now we're back. He's posted in 13 days. We are not built the same.
We're just cooking. We just take a little longer to cook.
You're just cooking.
Okay. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you.
No.
Let me just send you a title. I'm just sending you this to you later. If you want it, people can ask me later. I just saw something funny. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
All right, I'm waiting.
Okay, I have to. It's just like such a. It's just the title is really funny. I DM'd you on. I'm sorry.
Sorry, let me just refresh. I'm like waiting for this title. I kind of late to ask, but is the volume still okay, everybody? Did you send this?
I sent it to you over DM.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh, I can't check. Not there.
Oh, okay. Because then you'll show. Never mind.
Yeah, the setup.
Okay, I'm just gonna say. I'm gonna tell everyone that Toku's friends posted a very funny video title. That's all I'm gonna say. Go check him out. Go comment, subscribe. Virgo. We will invite him back.
I'm just gonna look it up.
I will be there to invite him back.
I'm just gonna look it up.
You'll know when you look at it.
I'm gonna see it. What the hell? Oh my god.
Sorry, he's my goat.
Wow.
Okay, volume is good, but I'm probably ruining it by anyway.
Pretty sure it's what I. Yeah.
Okay, so we will be having him back. We'll be having guests back.
Oh, he did a Suzume versus Your Name versus Weathering with You video.
That's actually I will be watching. I will be sitting down and watching. That sounds great.
We gotta throw down. We should have like a Makoto Shinkai tier list episode.
Yes.
We could finally do a Miyazaki pod.
That would be great. We do have to do that, and you have to wait. King Recon on the pod would be like make my day. I love Recon. Okay, when I finally read the big three, we will have.
I think I mentioned this once, like as a passing thought, but I think you did say I need to read the big three, right?
I will be reading the big three. I know I've been baiting everyone, but I will be reading.
What? How far have you gotten? What do you have left?
Got to like chapter 16 of Bleach, but that was a while ago.
Oh, good luck. Oh, wait.
Can I tell you the reason I have not read more besides my own procrastination?
Go ahead.
Is because AJ has been reading all of them, so I want him to get his own head start, and then I can read them, and I don't want to overlap too much, because then it'll be too much people reading Peak at the same time.
I guess. Okay.
I gotta pace it out a bit, and then I can check out his live streams afterwards to be like, oh, what did he think of this? And then I'll see.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, it's a good strat.
Yeah. But I will be reading Bleach first.
Well, why don't you just switch to another one of the big three while he's reading that?
He's not reading Bleach yet. He's reading One Piece and Naruto. So I will get to those after. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay, so you want to wait till he gets to Bleach?
No, I've been putting off the other ones because I want to read Bleach, and then at the same time I'm like, oh, he's reading through some of them, so like we'll see.
Okay.
You got to diversify.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if King Recon would come on, I will have to like reach out. That would be I would be honored, and would love to have him on. VG single-handedly. You know what's really funny? I think I mean I haven't read Bleach. I've only seen some openings here and there, so I have no stake in the game. But I do kind of love how Bleach has been known as like the all style, no substance thing, like. You know, kind of all drip, whatever, how it's gone from that to being like, if you refuse to acknowledge it, you're ignoring the philosophy behind it. I'm kind of glad to see people kind of reclaim their fandom in such a way.
Turning around.
I don't know what Bleach. It is.
Yeah, it's been going on for a few years.
They flipped the switch. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, just no bias. I'm just like, you know what? I kind of go off. Because so many people claim, I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know which side I'll fall on it. But I think there's just something cool about people kind of overlooking something for so long and people being like, actually, no, you're the superficial one.
I think also what made it easy to do that is, reading Bleach weekly when it was coming out weekly. And now that people have had time to kind of go back and like read all of it at once or kind of revisit it now in its entirety, now that they have all of it, besides just a knee-jerk reaction of like, kind of what happened initially. And maybe not liking the direction, now they're like, oh, wait, there was more here. There's more substance here.
And it's kind of the constant thing of, like, there's such a huge difference between reading something weekly and binging it.
Yeah.
In, like, a single package.
Yeah, like, I remember I first hearing about this, like, back in 2019 at AX when I was, like, hanging out with, like, What the What once.
I knew that he would be the one.
They said something about, like, Bleach or something being good. I'm like, oh no, Bleach sucks. And then he's like, nah, you don't understand the philosophy of Bleach.
You don't understand. Am I the only? It's like the Bill and Mandy.
And I like had no idea. I had never heard like anything about that. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess there's more to Bleach. I guess I have to revisit it.
Yeah, and that's like the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy. It's like, am I the only one who sees the true nature of this flawed masterpiece? Yeah. You know that clip.
Yeah. No, and I think, like, I definitely never actually took the time to revisit Bleach, so I only remember what I remember, so.
Yeah.
Sure,
BG is another one. BG would be great to have on. So, thanks was like, AJ's Naruto streams have been super entertaining. He has a randomizer for Apple Music, and during an emotional moment, it played Maroon 5.
That's great.
I love that. I need to go back and clip that.
I would just get worried about being copyrighted. That would be my worry.
Yeah, I don't know how that works with Twitch streams.
I think you have to... I think for the clips you have to mute the audio, and I think you're fine, or something.
Okay,
I think that makes
sense.
With Twitch, you just can't keep it in the clips. I don't know.
Okay.
Or like the replays or whatever.
Okay, that makes sense. In the VODs.
Yeah. There you go. That's the name. VODs.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, I think I should. I'm not sure if I should be reflecting on anything besides our guests and how funny they've been. I feel bad.
I mean, if there's nothing to reflect on, I mean, I think I mainly said like the main stuff. You know, like we could, like that was mainly the stuff trying to kind of get feedback on like what, you know, like people think about like the stuff we talk about and like anything they'd like to hear more of or hear less of, or if they enjoy the switching from like, you know, like deep like animation heavy pod to just shooting the shit in another pod, you know, like more just surface level having fun. Because that's kind of like we just like we're kind of it's whatever we're feeling in the moment, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like that I have fun with that, but it's always interesting to be like, does that actually work for other people too? I don't know.
Oh, and the other thing I guess I wanted to talk about too, and it won't be that long, was just the live stream aspect of the pod, or at least the weekly live stream aspect, has been great in terms of like having the chat and the audience interaction, whatever, and whatever. But in terms of the scheduling, I think like doing it weekly would sometimes be challenging in terms of not the showing up part. You know, that wasn't like it wasn't hard to show up and be on the pod and talk. It was more of back to the topic of topics, you know, like coming up with like something interesting that people might be engaged in like every week, when it just felt like we just finished one and now like half, you know, it's midweek already. And by midweek, you got to like start announcing your next live stream. So like you got like, unless you planned it ahead of time, which we did actually do at the beginning of season 2, we're trying to do a monthly schedule and we were kind of doing that a bit. But like, when we weren't doing that, it was like you got like 3 days to like pretty much think of, okay, what's the next thing, and then kind of have it up. So
yeah.
So like I guess what made me think about that, it was like maybe like with that scheduling, it might have not been playing to our strengths as much, because again, we can show up, but like in terms of like being able to think of the ideas that we're really energetic about or passionate about, maybe we're constraining ourselves by like making us fit into a mold of like it has to be every week for 4 weeks straight, back to back, when, you know, maybe it could just be 2 a month. And I know that like sounds sucky for like our listeners to be like, oh well, we don't want to hear you guys only twice a month, but it's like, as opposed to being absent for 8 months,
yeah
I think in the long run it's better to be like consistent, you know. Like I think I mentioned this to you before, like as a thought, like that we're consistently putting out 2 a month as a possibility, versus like, hey, we did 4 and now we disappeared for like 8 months because I don't know, just things weren't aligning. So
yeah, it would definitely be cool also to hear from like anyone who wants to provide feedback, even in chat or like as a comment, or like even to us directly, you know, like you can DM us, whatever, like just kind of what they prefer, what you kind of prefer the most. Because like, you know, at this point we've done like live streams, we've done pre-recorded shows, we've done like kind of a mix of some of those, you know, so it's definitely good for us to kind of hear feedback on like what people value the most. Because I know also like, you know, a big thing that we have is like time zones. Like we have time zone things where like some people can't show up to live stream, so then we're like, okay, do they just watch it later at some point? How many people just end up watching things later because whenever we stream in our time zone doesn't fit for them? So then it's kind of like us trying to balance like what's the optimal listening experience, and also you know, kind of trying to try some new things as well, because we've had some, you know, because we have some ideas for switching things up, which will inherently be like, you know, something new and exciting and possibly make things better. But I'm not sure how much of that would possibly take some of the fun out, just because we don't know what the fun is for people.
Yeah, that's something like we've definitely thought about, like in terms of, like you said, the timing, like what's the better time, and then also like what people value and stuff like that. But I don't know. The feedback so far has been great, so I don't know if there's anything wrong actually. But yeah, while you guys are getting back to us with that, that's kind of like all I had really on the reflection portion, I guess, and like, you know, doing things differently, I guess, would be like, it sounds like we do more of the same, but more of embracing like the multiple topics, and also we got more fun guests that we need to bring on. And
we should bring on, besides who was mentioned in chat, because I would like to have people on again, and also find other new guests. And I know something we have not done of in a while that we can try and make happen is also that everyone had a fun time with is our hot take battle royale. That is like, you know, a fun one we have where I know me and Onimaru we've almost run out of our hot takes. You know, maybe we can invent some new ones, but hearing other people's hot takes is really like, it makes things pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah. The hot takes that make you wish you weren't here.
That make you sweat.
Yeah. You're just like, I can't believe this is a take.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, that's kind of it, in terms of that part. And we've got some stuff planned.
So I guess transition to like future plans. So we are being purposely vague, so I can't tell anymore to not be ominous because I'm gonna keep being ominous. But
yeah,
the good news is
ominous.
We're gonna be super spooky boogie. So we do have things planned that are coming soon, not necessarily like next week, but coming in the near future because we've been working on some stuff behind the scenes that we think will be pretty different, but we hope will be pretty fun because we're playing around with some stuff and we think it'll lead to some fun podcasting experience. But you know, keep the feedback loop open because what do we know? We're just weeps. You know?
Is that it?
No, that's not our end. That's not
All right, I guess I'm ending the stream. See you guys.
No.
I was like, I didn't know this was coming.
Yeah, no. I found a way to work it in for once because we were like, okay, how do we work in the Just Weebs pod? So we got to comment. Really enjoyed the audience interaction. Do a podcast of Donna's takes would be funny. And then here's the real question that Angst has is, what are the chances of you reading 200 hours of Umi Neko for a podcast or 40 hours of House of Fata Morgana? Face.
I think if we did like, all right, I think if we did like a giant like poll and if we got like a big audience voting for that they like at least like a bunch of people saying they want to see that, I'd do it.
Okay, so we need to like
if we got like confirmed, like we got like I don't know what's a random number, like 150 people or like 200 people that definitely want to see this go down, then okay, I'm in.
We get the Umi Neko fandom to be like, we will do a podcast.
Like we're rolling up. I'm like, okay. So yeah. But I think I'm more likely to do 4 hours of Fata than...
It's not 4, it's 40.
Sorry, 40.
40
no, hours.
Because you thought you were safe. No,
I wasn't. I just misspoke. More than 200 hours. I think I need like 1,000 people for that.
That would be pretty fun. We'll see how the bullying works. So we could try and optimize the bullying.
Yeah, just bullied enough to do it. And definitely I'd need some time. It wouldn't be from 1 week to the next. All right, I'm ready. I've ignored everything else in my life, but I'm here.
Yeah, that would be pretty fun. You gotta go on the visual novel arc. That would be an interesting one.
Yeah, I think like because you wouldn't even need to do any homework for that. You're ready. You're ready to go on both.
I would refresh. I would reread some with you.
I think
I wouldn't let you go in the trenches without, I'd pitch in a good, maybe a 50-hour.
I mean, I've been interested. I wanted to enter the whole visual novel scene, although I don't know if that's a good thing, but I was always kind of curious as to
Final destination for weebs.
Yeah, where weebs go to ascend, I guess. To reach. I
think you would like them. I think you would like both of them. It's just a matter of like actually doing it. I don't know. Because then I would have to read more visual novels because then we'd just be going down the pipeline.
Yeah, I think that's like a visual novels like arc or series. Like
visual novel November.
On a more fun note, I've like had the idea, and I don't know if it'd work, of like for certain things that we'd want to do as a series, like would it make sense to just have it as a numbered podcast, or would it make more sense to have it like be its own thing, obviously on the channel, where it's like like a series that we're doing separately, like a side series where again it's not numbered, it's just sort of like you know, its own playlist or its own thing that's like, you know, like every month or something, it's like coming out with a thing for that.
No, that's a good question. I think that's I don't know how we would title it. That would be interesting.
Because I think like it wouldn't like obviously like it would take away from episodes when you have like 10 episodes straight of just us like tackling this game or like or whatever.
Just Weebs.
Installment.
Just Umineko.
Yeah, just Umineko.
Wait, that could be the thing. It's like whenever it's just a when it's a series of something, it's just and then the name of the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, like for Umineko, like a pod for like each as I finish each chapter. And then
each episode actually does work. You can get 8 pods out of
there you
Umineko.
go, and that's a series, and then it's like the 8 like the Just Weave's Umineko magnum opus, you know, just eight installments.
Tears in my eyes, new top 1.
Peak. Yeah, I've thought of that because I'm just like, there's some things that like I think take more than one pod to like tackle, and it's just like, it would be better if like to have it just like multiple installments. Now we're just having our behind the scenes conversations with you guys. Just
planning
like,
our next podcast.
Hey, what do you think about this? And it's like, I don't know. Maybe.
It's like, this is the process in real time, by the way. We're just like, do we do a podcast on this? I don't know. Maybe. How many hours will go into that?
Oh, just Weebs when they cry. That's kind of dope.
Wait, that goes so hard. Oh, wait, we have to read Higurashi too.
Ah, no.
No, wait, I will read it. I will do that. That'll be my homework. I will read Higurashi.
I mean, if you read it, I kind of have to. So don't do it.
Connected.
So I don't have to.
They're connected, kind of.
Like, isn't it like loosely connected?
Yeah, it's loosely connected, but they got the title and it goes hard.
How many hours is Higurashi?
Pretty much the same. Pretty much around the same, I think.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Keep that in mind. I do like the title.
Are we gonna go, like, let's go drop, like, some 200 hours for the cool title? Because that kind of goes hard.
All right. So if we did that, would it just be a Higurashi series, or would that just be the title for both? Like the series for
damn,
both?
that kind of ruined. Yeah. Just Weebs when they Higurashi, and then just Weebs when they Umineko. No, but it's like when they cry goes hard.
Whoa, Tom just called you out.
I don't want to. Okay, I'm not doing. Here's what's up. I need to read.
Oh, Shaw's
you know what's? Here's what it is. I will read the visual novel and the manga because everyone. That's what I did for Umineko. As people were like, "Oh, like, do you read the visual novel or the manga?" And I'm like, "Bitch, I'm doing both. I'm doing both of them."
Shaw, you could have just said the visual novel has music. That's it. You know.
That is like literally half the
enhances the experience.
Music and voice acting. And they have some pictures sometimes. I like that. But I go hard for both. But I just can't. I know that you're not going to get the full experience with just the manga. I just know it. Like, been there, done that. I understand.
Yeah.
Just Weeb Cinematic Universe. Yeah, that goes hard.
It kind of does, but then we'd have to have like a lot of different stuff, I guess, that like all connects.
Who is Toka in the Cinematic Universe?
Oh my god. He's like Thanos.
He's definitely Thanos. Oh my god, yes.
He's the final boss.
He is. Oh my god, can we make like one of those like SpongeBob anime openings, but it's like
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can. I think we gotta commission someone though.
Yes.
But we could definitely do it. If there's anyone in the chat that's good at art,
let us know.
Specifically animation.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Especially if you're familiar with SpongeBob.
Yeah. Well, now we have to do when they cry. Just Weebs when they cry. It goes hard.
It kind of does.
It unfortunately goes hard.
What would the Just Weebs Big 3 be called?
Like, of stuff we've done? Or
No. Like, if we tackled the Big 3 in, like, a series, like the, you know, like...
Just Weebs Big 3. And then
that's it?
Naruto. And then just Weebs.
Or would we go...
the Big 3.
Or would we do, like, Naruto has its own series, Bleach has its own series, and One Piece has its own series?
Yeah.
Oh, you do it like that?
Yeah, probably. Because we probably do multiple podcast episodes on them.
Okay.
That's how I imagined it.
Let me think. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. But then you do one episode that's all 3.
Yeah, because we obviously have to battle to the death over which one is the best one.
one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, angst gets me. If you don't hear the characters yelling, Beatrice, I can't. You'll see, and then you don't understand. You gotta understand the voice acting. Also, I didn't know that you started it. I need to catch up. Because when they cry, I will be there. And good news, to Ultimate Mega X, definitely want to hear my Shaw go on about Yamada level 999. That is probably in our future, and then it might be even more in our future. So,
yeah,
that's only a matter of time.
Sooner than you think.
Yeah. Okay. I've been spoiling our future podcasts too much.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about. There might be something. There might not. This might be it.
No.
Maybe.
the end of Just Weebs.
Season 2 finale? Series
Season
finale.
2. Well, do we do? Is it truly? I don't know. I guess you could call that the end of Ava Season 2, where we just like sit around and like clap, like congratulations.
Oh yeah, the end of Evangelion. The clapping scene, the congratulations scene. Oh. The end of Just Weebs.
You cannot redo? No, what is the thing? What's the title card for that?
For which one?
The last episode title card for End of Evangelion. No, not End of Eva, the episode 26 or something.
Oh, I should know this actually. But I don't.
You should. You probably have it on a t-shirt.
I wish I did. I was trying to find it. I couldn't. What was it?
I'm looking it up.
Looking it up. Title card.
Yo, you know, it's kind of like my Google browser has defaulted my search function to Yahoo because it's safer.
Wow.
And every time it does that, I'm like, kind of a self-report, you know?
Okay, the weebs that shouted love at the heart of the world.
What is the normal one?
The beast that shouted love at the heart of the world.
Okay, so the weebs that shouted love. That's kind of the point of Ava, too, so I'm down. Okay.
That's so true.
That's kind of true.
Yeah, I've been called a fake fan. Probably am.
But you said you're almost too much of a real fan, and Hano is like, get the fuck out.
I think so.
Yep.
I kind of funded Kara now, so
We will be there
I
for
bet
their next
Hano
product.
hates me. He was like, "Hey, I was done. I didn't want to make another project."
Okay, Angst is on chapter 1 of Umineko, so he's in the Fast and Furious arc. So it's like,
Oh my god.
I will be there, Angst.
I'm so tired of hearing about Familia or family.
Familia,
Yeah.
family's everything.
My friend unironically loves those movies.
I think Ty loves those movies, but they're kind of like anime for normies.
I did
They
hear
got,
that,
like-
and I had another friend that
think
went to
that's-
go watch Fast 10, and he said he went in expecting it to be that, but he said he had the worst time ever.
They literally go into space and launch shit off buildings. That's the most weeb shit I've heard in my life. And
and they had what?
they have like fake out deaths and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they pretend people have died and then they haven't. That's like
Well, in the latest one, Dom is literally throwing a car with his arms. He's just like, shh.
it's literally just weebs shit.
I mean, they lost me in I think it was 6 or something, when Dom just came out with a huge wrench, slammed it on the ground, and then it cracked the ground. I was like, I can't.
He literally has his like Super Saiyan power up. Like
Yeah.
he is. But the one where they had they were in Antarctica or the North Pole or whatever, and they're shooting torpedoes on the ice. It's
Yes.
weeb shit.
Yes.
This is weebs shit for normies.
Oh god. Oh, by the way, how do you feel about the new panty and stocking, and new Gurren Lagann?
I didn't see the trailer for it, so I'm excited though.
Yeah, because they're doing a remake, right?
Yes. Yes, I think they're no. I think that Panty and Stocking is season 2 technically, right?
I think what I heard, is that they're redoing it. It's from the beginning.
I will confirm or deny because I feel like they don't need to because it's it's episodic and it ended on a cliffhanger. So
True, but maybe because they got it from Gynax and they kind of want to. They probably want to redo it in their own way.
Yeah, I could see that. To be determined.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do hope they get the same composer and same team. I hope if they can get the same team as the first one, I think that'll be really awesome.
Yeah, I still need to watch the first season.
It's a good. You can watch it dubbed because it feels just like a Western, like Adult Swim cartoon.
So it is a season 2. Okay, well that's actually even better. Yeah, because I was
Season
like
2.
wondering. I'm like, they're redoing it. Maybe I was thinking also of Spice and Wolf because I know they're redoing that.
They are redoing Spice and Wolf.
Yeah.
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 Well.
All right.
Well.
I think that's it. I know I've said that 5 times before.
It's your goodbye. That's how they know this is like, this is as like conversational as a podcast gets. It's because we like, it's like when you're talking to someone in real life and someone has to go and you're like kind of in the conversation like 5 times. Like this is real life.
This is literally what happens behind the scenes. Like, all right, Shaw, for real, like you gotta go, I gotta go,
Yep.
We should go. And then someone brings up something else, and then we're on for another 40 minutes. So
yeah, pretty much.
It's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thanks for like joining us for this. Again, this is like supposed to be very casual, and it is very casual. But with that, I think we did enough reflecting. We're ready to kind of like take the pod to the next thing, the next stage. I don't know how
the next
long.
frontier.
Yeah, the next frontier. And and that's kind of it. So we're gonna leave you guys off with that. Keep your eyes peeled. Look at the Just Weebs Twitter to see what's coming next, and we hope to see you guys very soon. Besides that,
say the thing.
Besides
say
that,
sorry. Besides that,
the thing.
What do we know?
See you guys. All right, guys. Honestly, besides that, it was actually, you know what? Let's extend the pod a little bit. It was great to be back, genuinely, after 8 months.
Yeah.
I hope to not be gone again. I hope we're not gone again for another 8 months, because the conversations are fun. And if we are gone again for another 8 months, it's because we don't really know anything. Because what do we know? We're just weird. Was that horrible?
I think we should reflect on how we can better incorporate Just Weebs as a goodbye. I think that's what we need to.
I've honestly just been phoning it in. That's my secret. That's what I should have been reflecting
Well,
on.
you are Just Weebs, so.
Yeah. Nah, but at the end of the day, it's really not that important because at the end of the day, we're just Weebs.